PowerBoat Television, North America's premier boating show. Here's this week's Mercury Marine My Boat feature.
Wear and tear is a common issue that plagues the mechanical systems of a boat. Over the years, these things simply just happen, and this summer it happened to me. My neutral lock here simply wore out through all the years of use. So I figured before I put the boat away for the winter, let's replace it. So that's going to be this week's My Boat project. We're going to put on a new throttle and shift mechanism as well as replace the cables. Now, once you get your mechanism removed from the bulkhead, you're able to check something out that will come into play later, and that's whether you have a push assembly or a pull assembly. And as you see, as I engage in, the throttle pulls out forward, so we actually have a pull assembly. So now we know for later.
Disconnecting the throttle and shift cables was simply a matter of removing the cotter pins and unthreading the connector from the cables. This freed the cable so the throttle assembly could be removed. Heading back to the engine compartment, I began to pull the throttle cable back through. Once the cable was pulled free, I disconnected it from the engine.
So now that I've got the throttle cable disconnected, I'm actually going to run a new one and basically take the spark plug wire approach before I get to the shifter cable. Now we're using these U-Flex cables, and what's nice about them is, as we see on the package here, is that they're basically 100% universal.
U-Flex's Mach Series cables are designed for high efficiency and high flexibility should you have a complex cable path. To install the new cable, I took the connector off the old cable, fed it onto the new one, and then simply connected it back onto the engine throttle. Then I moved on to disconnecting the shifter cable from the transmission. To install, you simply repeat the process in reverse.
So now that I have the shifter cable disconnected, a quick tip is to tape the new ones to it and use the old cable as a fish to get the other cables back up to the helm.
After a quick tape job, and with some gentle coaxing, I had soon run the new cables up to the helm.
So now that we've got the cables run up to the helm, it's now time to move on to the throttle and shift mechanism. And what's nice about this U-Flex model, and like all U-Flexes, is that it's universal capabilities. So as you can see, it's mounted in a vertical position right now, and we simply don't have the room for it. But I can disconnect the backer piece and spin it forward for what we need, and I'll be ready to go.
After removing the Phillips screws from the shifter, I was then able to mount it so it was set for a horizontal operation. Once that was complete, I had to move the shift pulley to the opposite side so it would operate in a pull fashion like we determined off the start. Then it was just a matter of connecting the cables to the housing. With the cables connected, I moved on to installing the neutral kill switch. This prevents the boat from starting while it's in gear.
Now I'm ready to mount the housing, but as you can see, because of the past control pad, I simply don't have any real estate to work with. So I've got to make a custom bracket that will allow me the space I need.
After whipping together a bracket and covering it with matching vinyl, I was able to begin mounting the control panel. This is as simple as lining up the front panel with the matching holes on the backer, then attaching the cover plate. Once that is complete, you can install the lever and you're done.
Well, the project's done, and I was really impressed with how easy U-Flex made this system to do yourself. All the instructions are laid out there, and of course, since it's an inboard not having power trim, makes things a little simpler. This was a really cool and really easy fall project, and now it's just one less thing I have to do in spring.